Welcome to Finding the Modern Man podcast. Join me, Peter Kiricosta, your health and performance expert and self-leadership coach, as myself and my guests discuss and uncover what it means to be a man in today's society, helping you optimize physical, mental, and emotional health in order to create a life with purpose and passion in the changing world that we live in. Welcome back to another episode of Finding the Modern Man podcast. In today's episode, we're going to follow on from the training of the body to the treating of the body, looking at the pillar of physical therapy. Now, it is important to look at the maintenance of our body. So in the last episode, we looked at the variables that come into choosing the right type of exercise, the importance of weight training and cardio, what is functional for one person's job as opposed to another, or one person's constitution to another. Now, physical therapy can take many different forms, and this is something that follows on and is very important to go with movement. It's also about self-care. For me, it's the importance of valuing yourself, because when you function well, your mood, your mental health, your interaction with those around you will naturally improve as well, because you're dealing with less pain, less stress on the nervous system, and you're moving a lot easier and freer. So I commented in the last episode of patterns of dysfunction. This is something I want to go into a bit deeper because it makes a little more sense when we're dealing with treatment and physical therapy. So again, looking at the tradie in the construction industry to the desk worker, someone who's on the desk a lot. The desk worker sitting down. So the legs are a bit more towards that 90 degrees, which means the muscles that attach from the torso to the legs contract over time, right? So that's going to pull when you try and stand up. It's going to pull on the back because a muscle like the psoas attaches to the spine. So that's going to put a lot of tension and pressure and stress on the spine and a lot of pain. The shoulders coming forward. Even if you're in a sport that has shoulders forward a lot, say like boxing, tucked up, hands are up, and you constantly got this internal rotation of the shoulders. With treatment, be it stretching, or even something like massage. In this case, releasing that area. You can do trigger ball as well. Releasing that front area and stretching it for the tighter muscles. And the same with the hips here. And then strengthening the back in order to keep the posture up. So this is where training and treatment comes in together and becomes very important, because these little things are patterns of dysfunction, whether it's a particular sport, your work, coming back to the tradie. He's carrying a lot of things on one shoulder, carrying loads on one shoulder, carrying tools with one arm more than the other. One side's going to be stronger, which can pull on the spine, which can pull on different bones, and muscles are going to be tighter, pulling across, which can cause its own dysfunction. And what happens when we've got a pattern of dysfunction? The body naturally tries to correct itself in a different plane of motion. So then we get this zigzagging effect up the body of pain and things going wrong over time, that is. When we can be on top of this, understand how our body is moving, and what we can even do at home to take care of this, because you don't always have to go into, say, the physio clinic to see a remedial massage therapist, a chiro or osteo. There are a number of things you can do at home. Now, all of these modalities have a place. They have a different function to each other, which can be covered more in a one-on-one basis, looking at what your needs are, or in another episode. But let's have a look at some of the things you can do for yourself and what affects the nervous system and the body as well. So, one of the things as well that comes into it is coming back to that pillar of mindset and the pillar of stress and anxiety, the experiences we have mentally, emotionally, or from our physical patterns of dysfunction. It is widely accepted now, both in the psychology field and a lot to do with physical therapy fields as well, that our experiences, be it mental, emotional, physical, are stored in our body's cellular memory. In the psychology field, you've got modalities such as somatic therapy that Peter Levine pioneered, Richard Schwartz's internal family systems. Then in the more alternative field, you have modalities like kinesiology, Horstman technique, you've got your massage therapies, which help target the body from this angle, looking at what is the body holding on to stress-wise, what is it holding on to trauma-wise, and how is that affecting our physicality and our patterns of dysfunction as well, how we move, how our nervous system is taxed. Over time, when we've got all these life events and untreated physical injuries, there's a compounding effect, meaning it adds up and builds greater and greater over time. This is where we can end up with chronic pain, physical ailments, injuries that keep coming back, recurring injuries we can't get over, and also age and recovery. As we get older, we've accumulated more through life, but our bodies don't actually respond and correct themselves as well. So recovery becomes longer, which then there's more of a need, I feel, to get that treatment to help the body catch up and get back on track again. One of the other things that comes into effect is fatigue levels. Again, looking at the last episode, I mentioned, what is your stress and anxiety? Be it from work, family, your external environment, what's put on you from training, what's put on you, as I mentioned before, from previous life experience, previous injuries, previous physical ailments. This puts pressure on the nervous system, and when it's constantly trying to correct itself and compensate, there's a lot of energy used just to try and maintain balance and equilibrium. This slows our recovery down. This lessens capacity to exercise, to get through the day without so much pain. This affects our mood. This affects our mental health. So the more the nervous system is taxed, the more difficult it's going to be to make progress. Also, this can be a contributing factor to burnout, which can happen when we're overdoing it. We've got too much on our plate. We're taking on too many responsibilities for too long without adequate rest, without adequate recovery. And this is a difficult thing to balance out as well, right? We all do it from time to time, or for some of us chronically. It's a part of life. And it's one of those things where treatment can really help. Physical therapies can really help relax the nervous system, take the pressure off as well. It's not just about the physical muscles and bones. It's about our mood, our mental health, how activated our nervous system is. There are multiple types of different things we can do at home, so let's go into some of these now. We can look at foam rollers. There are a variety of different rollers out there. Some are firmer, some are softer. So this is something you can do to help roll out, release the fascia, release the musculature of the body. Then with just a few minutes a day, you can do 5 to 10 minutes, even if it's a couple times a week. Something is better than nothing. Remember, as I mentioned in the last episode also. So you can look up different videos on YouTube or other streaming media as well. You can look up different videos, how to roll out for your back, how to roll out for the legs. Because when you start doing that, you'll start to feel little clicks and clunks and things loosening up, and you're most likely to feel calmer afterwards. You'll be calm, more centered, because the nervous system isn't as highly activated trying to compensate and deal with so much pain going on and so much muscular and nervous system fatigue. You can also use the trigger balls, which are those little hard balls with the spikes on it. You can also use tennis balls, golf balls, and put it on a spot, say if it's behind the scaps there, behind the shoulder blades, or say on the chest, something we can see against the wall, and you can roll into that. You know, you can roll against the wall like a bear in the woods scratching on the tree. You can do that kind of thing. And that's going to help just relax that area a little bit and take the pressure off. This is very beneficial, and it doesn't have to take a long period of time. You don't have to do it every day. You can do it, as I mentioned before, a couple of times a week. This can be really beneficial. And also what happens with the body, we accumulate some scar tissue as well through different injuries, different movement patterns, and patterns of dysfunction. Say like those knots. We know that we can get really tight in the shoulders when we're stressed or we've been, be it through work or training, and you can just feel these hard little knobs on there. There's hard little balls in the shoulders or different muscle groups. Getting adequate physical therapy can help break that down as well and release the muscles around it. So it's not going to be as tense. You don't have to try so hard. You can stretch as well. There are many different videos that are good. Again, on streaming media, you can look. Stretching for the back, stretching for the front of the body, the whole body, upper, lower. You can follow this. Yoga and Pilates are also very beneficial in the form of physical therapy as well. You can follow this on your own. Of course, it's not going to be as detailed or as quite as corrective as personalized one-on-one service. However, something is better than nothing. It's a great place to start. It's a great place to treat yourself and take care, show the value to yourself and this vessel that we have to get through life with. One of the other things to pay attention to as well is how is your stress, your physical stress affecting your mood? This is something that really can creep in over time because as we don't notice how much pain and discomfort we're in, because we generally just become used to it, the nervous system stops sending us strong messages saying, hey, something's wrong here, please take care of it. It dulls that down and it just becomes normal. And then our mood drops. And what happens, coming back to the mindset pillar, what happens when our mood is that way over a long period of time? It becomes a personality trait. So also think to yourself, if I'm not taking care of my body, be it with the physical movement, with the treatment, these simple physical therapy side of things, how is that affecting the people around me? How is that affecting my family? How is that affecting my relationships? How is that affecting my staff or my work colleagues? And again, it brings in multiple pillars here. So ask yourself, does your family, your work colleagues, your staff, the people around you, the people you love and care about, do they deserve that grumpy, stuck in the mud, won't do anything to help themselves version of you? Or do you want to choose health? Do you want to choose to start making these differences and start raising your living standards within yourself and see how that can filter out and improve the interactions with the people you care about around you? They can benefit so much just from you doing a little simple thing for yourself. So ask you, be brave. Be brave enough to ask the people around you how they perceive your mood and how that affects them. Take the answer kindly and as feedback rather than a criticism. Use this as fuel to help you, your family, your business thrive sustainably into the future. Because I've seen it way too often, be it in sports or in the workplace, where people don't take care of themselves. They thrashed their bodies for years with one unattended injury or illness after another, often to make money for their retirement, and then they end up spending their remaining years and money on trying to regain their health. And I'll leave you with a story. This is a true story. It's a former client of mine. We'll call him Steve, right? Steve was someone who exercised a lot, was under a high pressure, stress job, loved what he did. But over the years, exercising, living, going through life, all of those experiences were storing up in his body. It was very hard to train Steve sometimes because there was so much going on, such restricted movement that he could make with training. And one day we had this conversation. He said, "Pete, I have to go to the doctor and get a referral for a knee surgery." I said, "Okay, what's wrong with this knee?" So we had a bit of a chat. And by looking at the pain, the type of discomfort Steve was in, I said, "Well, mate, have you ever had a massage? Have you ever gone to a physio? Have you ever used a foam roller? Anything that can help loosen up that area, the legs, the hips, which will then in turn loosen up the knees and the lower legs, the calves?" "No, haven't," he said to me. I said, "Okay, why don't we start there?" So for a few weeks there, we stopped the physical training and went to treatment, and using not even full remedial therapy, because he was so sensitive. His body had accumulated that much tension and stress and fatigue. All I was doing was just palm pressure along the quads, along the legs, down to the feet. Doing that. And also utilized reflexology, which treats different parts of the body through the feet. And then over the course of a few weeks, Steve started to get a bit more movement in the hips. He could actually walk. He could squat better, could walk without as much pain. And his sleep went from 4 to 5 hours up to 6 to 7. So he gained a couple of hours sleep a night just from treating the body, which took the pressure off the nervous system, helped his body recover from everything he'd been doing over the years and experiencing, and then freeing up more energy and space to live. His mood improved. His experiences at work improved because he started taking that value for himself, treating the body, alleviating the stress off the nervous system, which, as we've seen in the last couple of episodes, hits various pillars. This affects the mindset pillar. We've addressed the movement, the physical therapies, the stress and anxiety. Without even purposely focusing on stress and anxiety, these couple of episodes help reduce that, which then in turn improves relationships as well. Whatever type of relationship that is, be it at work, your family, friends. So I ask you, please choose health, choose longevity, choose your physical and mental health, choose an active retirement and beautiful relationships into the future, and choose you. Choose to care about yourself enough, and the people around you will notice. Your interactions with them will notice. So thank you again for listening. Again, if there's anything you want to know more on clarity on, you would like me to cover, please get in touch. Let me know for future episodes. And thank you so much for listening. See you next episode. Just a friendly reminder that what we discussed today does not constitute personalized advice. If you're planning on making significant changes to your life, creating a pathway suited to your specific needs and goals is recommended. Also, if you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover on future episodes, please get in touch via social media or through the website. And thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.